Hey, who am I speaking with?
You're speaking with Greg.
Hey, Greg. Where's my buddy Charlie at?
Charles is in some back-to-back meetings right now.
Back to
Take a
back.
message?
Oh no, I'll talk to you. You're an answer machine. I can talk to you too. Can you tell me what our Representative Brad Winstrip's doing today?
He is doing some official committee business.
Okay, official committee. Well, I'm going to expect that he's doing official committee business, seeing how he's my representative. But more specifically, what is he doing? Like, what is he working on right now? Because he seems to be awful proud of his bipartisan with the demon rats there, the Democrats, trying to find housing for college students going to school that needs housing when they can't even afford to go to college. And like our country's under attack and invasion right now. So, but it's important for him to work hand in hand with the Democrats, who are the very ones that's responsible for this invasion that we're dealing with. So, here's what I need for you to do for me. You need to tell him that his boss, James Preston, is telling him to knock off all that garbage, and we need to help Donald Trump right now because of the nonsense that he's incurring right now. Even if Donald Trump appeals this or whatever and straightens out, just the fact that there is a rogue idiot who takes it upon himself to bypass everything that America has been built for and from. He's absolutely this moron of I can't even hardly call him a judge, but other people are calling this white-haired rat a judge. But he comes up with $350 some million for a fine. Well, why not just make it $400 billion, huh? I mean, shoot, let's just act like that we're, what's the name of that?
Dr. Evil?
Yeah, old Dr. Evil. Yeah, Austin Powers there. Why not just be like 1 million kabillion trillion dollars? Why don't we just make up our own numbers for it? Because that's clearly what this moron did. And you know what this is? It's an attack on you sitting right there and I. And what do you think, no? You too?
Yeah.
And everybody else we talk to?
Yep.
So he's wasting money and stuff. And I know Silver Spoon there, he's wanting to bail out at the end of this year. And I wonder why, because there's true work that needs to be done. Hey, Brad's wanting to wimpy around about telling us that Chinaman bad. We already know Chinaman bad. China's bad. We don't need somebody telling us that. We already understand that. What we need is to feel, not just feel, but we want to be safe at night whenever we lay down. We want to know that we're safe during the daytime. We're not. We're tired of the watering us down and making our worth less and less and less as Americans. And that's exactly what they're doing. They are bringing in all these invaders because they're losing the numbers in these democratic states. So they have to get the numbers back up. And how they doing that? Oh, yeah. Let's give these invaders a free ride, no matter that these are real people with real lives. I mean, these are human beings. But let's not worry about that. We don't care about that. Let's just send them to wherever they're needed to support and jack up the Democrats. But this is not just a Democrat thing. These are George Soros, Bill Gates, BlackRock. What's that guy, the CEO, the main guy of BlackRock? What's his name? Do you remember? Can't remember his name. Bald-headed, goofy-looking dude. Anyway.
Schwab?
No, well, there's Klaus Schwab too. Yeah, he's another skin tag that needs to go. But, we need to work on real issues right now. We don't want bipartisan. Okay, anybody that's still saying bipartisan right now has their head up their ass. This is not a bipartisan thing. If it's Democrat, we don't want anything to do with them. If you're shaking hands with or even dealing with somebody who's a Democrat right now, you're an idiot. So I need for him to stay. And please tell me that y'all worked through the weekend. You did, didn't you?
I did some work over the weekend.
Good. So you was in the office?
I was in for a little bit, yeah.
Good job. How come you didn't answer the phone when I called?
Because we don't have the phones unrolled over the weekend.
Okay, so Brad was working on the weekend, right?
Yes. He was doing some stuff, not in D.C., but yes.
Okay, and what was he working on?
He was getting ready for some of the stuff he's working on this week.
Which is?
Committee-related activity.
Which is?
Be happy to share more details as it's released.
Okay, well, okay, here you go. Here's another thing you need to tell him. We're tired of whenever he's asked a question, or any of them as far as that goes, with the filibustering and the, just plain flat out not answering and stuff. Look, either one, somebody knows something or they don't know it. To just filibuster like that and to keep doing that over and over and over again, it just reeks of that they're guilty, and even more so, it would be treasonous, because to me it looks like you're not only hiding right now, but you're actually on the other side, and the other side is evil right now. So I can't have Brad to stay in there and keep drawing his check and stuff off of me, because I fired him. But if he's going to remain in there, then I need for him to get the stuff done that I want. And I don't want him working on something that he's not proud enough to tell me or the people that he is working on. Like, what is so top secret that he could, is he planning an assassination of like Putin or something?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, well, if it's something like that, I can kind of understand. But if you look at this, really, I don't know that Putin's actually against us. We're getting fed whatever they want to feed us, but we're not buying that anymore. None of us wants to put up with that. Do you know?
No.
And everybody else that we've been talking to, we're just done with that. Would you mind asking him if he even knows? Actually, I want you to just ask him. I don't care if you mind or not. Ask him. No, tell him I want him to let me know what the word representative and what a representative actually means and does. Unless you think,
I'm happy to pose that question to him when he's back in D.C. when we're back in session.
Okay, so he's not in session right now.
No, the House calendar is publicly available. We are not in session this week.
Well, why is that?
Because the Speaker of the House releases a calendar every year, and we are usually in session for 3 to 4 weeks at a time, and then out of session for 1 to 2 weeks at a time. I think that has been pretty standard since the founding.
Okay, but, explain that to we the people, will you? Because I don't understand that. What is this calendar about? In session, out of session? What does that mean? So does that mean he's not my representative today?
That's not what that means. What that means is that in session means that the House, it's a term meaning the House floor is in session, meaning activity is taking place on the House floor, votes are most likely expected, and then they adjourn or recess at the end of a week of session, so that members are able to plan travel back and forth, plan events in district, have kind of a calendar for the year so that they're able to make plans in representing their constituents. I think Congressman Winstrup would say that a big part of the job is meeting with folks in district as much, maybe not as much as, but in tandem with taking votes in D.C.
Did you make anything out of that? No. Because you know, I got to tell you, I'm so he's working, but he's not working. Is that what you're telling me?
That's not what I'm saying, no.
Okay.
I think what I am saying is that the role of the congressman is not limited to the activity that takes place on the House floor.
The role of the congressman is not limited to what takes place on the House floor. Is that what you just said?
That's what he said.
Do you understand that? So does that mean that he's not limited to just breathing in and out while that he's, you know, being a dad or something? Because I'm not really understanding what you're trying to say here.
I apologize. I don't understand what you're trying to say by breathe in and out.
Well, okay, whenever I said breathe in and out, that's kind of a no-brainer. Whenever, you know, you have to breathe in and out in order to survive, somebody can figure out why you breathe in and out. That's so that you can survive. But what you're saying is he's this, but he's not limited to why he's on the House floor. Okay, explain that to me. And see, this is another problem. All you guys, and I remember I'm talking to Brad, which is my representative right now, because you are a human answering machine. So I have to talk.
We're also human beings.
Afterwards, but right now you're getting paid to set that.
No, the staff that work for Brad are human beings.
Okay, that's what I said. I said you're human answering machines. You're correct in that. You are, but you are paid human answering machines, and you are supposed
paid to interact with the 800,000 constituents that the congressman represents. Correct.
And what am I?
You are one of 800,000.
There you go. So I'm less important to you. Is that what you're telling me?
That's not what I'm telling you. I'm saying
okay.
we interact with 800,000 people with a team of 15 staff.
Good.
And so there are time and resource constraints in how we can help everybody.
Oh, so you determine that, or would the people determine that?
Well, if you want to go to the highest level, the people determine it in elections every 2 years.
That's right. And who did they elect?
They elected Congressman Winstrup. Who
Okay, and who do you think I called?
You called the office of Congressman Winstrup, and he has hired us to help him in fulfilling his representational duties.
Okay, and what is his duties?
I can help point you to people who have written job descriptions. I think it is pretty, in the Constitution, it's relatively light on enumerating specific duties, mostly dealing with voting. But I think in the modern era, the duties have expanded a bit, and the expectations of constituents with modern communication have expanded a bit. So we can do a textual reading or a common understanding in the 21st century. Which would you prefer?
Well, here's what I prefer. I prefer for you to represent, which if you look up represent, that means to do what it is that I want done.
So what happens when what 800,000 people want done come in conflict with what another part of those 800,000 people want?
Well, here's what I'm going to ask you. Do we live in a democracy or not?
We live in a democratic republic.
We live in a republic. That's what we live in. It's a republic. It's not a democracy. Okay? So, do you know the difference between them?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well that's good because you're one of the few that actually know that. So I don't really understand why it is that you think that you want to be combative with me when I'm telling you what I want done, which is for Brad to actually do something that we genuinely want done. It's called representing.
Well, it sounds like you're looking more for a democracy, and we're in a republic.
What? What? That I want what? So are you?
Describing is more
Are you really sitting there talking to your boss like that? You're not really doing that to me, are you? Please tell me you're not.
I was just
Because
trying to-
I think he's being a little bit of a smart ass there. Come on, admit it.
No, sir. I was just.
Oh I'm pretty sure you was there. So I'd be real careful. Now I'm telling you that I want you to make sure that you have Brad to understand that all of this turbulent, sleight of hand garbage, like he's this or whatever, why he's on the floor, he's not really breathing in and out on this day because of a calendar and all this garbage that means nothing to we the people. That's got to go. We want him to actually do something for real that we really genuinely want. Trump needs help right now, which is we the people. Why do you think that Trump has got as far as he's gotten? It's because we the people want him there. And it could be any name that or somebody else, whoever we the people picked. But we did pick Trump. And there's a reason for that. And you know what? If you're so brilliant and you're so smart sitting there, Mr. Answering Machine, then you tell me why it is that our country's running so damn smooth right now. How about that? Are you happy with the country right now?
No, sir.
You're not? Well, how do you think we got here? Because whenever you have a certain lineup, and it's supposed to go we the people, and then representative, and so on and so forth, and whenever I'm calling my representative, and then I'm getting kickback and stuff from who I'm talking to, that's not very productive. You're supposed to say, okay, what would you like done? And then you pass that along, and then you've done your job. But instead, you're thinking that you're going to be a smart ass to me.
I apologize if that is your impression. I thought you were looking for a conversation on a couple of the issues. I was mistaken, so I will take down what you're saying and pass it to the congressman.
Oh, you know what? That was actually pretty good what you just did right there. And you're right. I was looking for a conversation. But in a conversation, that's two people that's talking back and forth, and giving viewpoints and stuff. But that's not one being a smart ass to the other one when they don't understand something that has been told to them. Because when you was talking about a calendar, because you have to remember this, we elect these people that say that, they put up signs in people's yards and on the road, and you'll see them on the radio and TV and news feeds or whatever, when you can find real news. And they say that they want to do that job. They want to work for you and me. And then you elect them and you vote for them. And you say, yeah, you know what? It sounds like they want to get in there and they want to protect us. They're the ones that chose that job. Nobody twisted Brad's arm and made him do that. He wanted to do that for whatever reason. And it's really irrelevant right now. The fact of it is that's why that we elect who it is. But then you have the other people that says, you know what? I'm a voter. I'm not going to be a representative, or I'm not going to run for office or something because I've got a job or I've got something that I need to do or I want to do other than that. But when these people choose that line, it's like you know. Do you know much about mechanics?
At a very broad level.
Very broad? Wow, so you're a mechanic then?
No, what I mean is at a very basic level, I guess would be the word.
Oh, okay. So you know what a camshaft sensor is, though, right?
I'm familiar with the term. I wouldn't be able to.
Okay. All right. There you go. You just got a really good. What's the word I'm looking for? That was me showing you exactly what I was trying to get from you when you're telling me that he's on the floor, but he's not doing anything, unless it's on the calendar, but he don't really represent unless, I mean, I didn't know what it was that you was exactly telling me, and that's what I was trying to find out. You see what I mean? Like, we don't know, we the people, we call in, we expect answers and stuff like that, but you guys create all these words and stuff that actually sounds dumber than hell, or even if you didn't invent them, they've been there from somebody else, like filibustering. Why don't they just say, wasting your damn time? I understand wasting my damn time, but no, who in the hell come up with a word like filibustering? Huh? It had to be a damn Democrat. Yeah, but you see what I'm saying? So instead of you, like, enlightening me, like on an adult level and respectable, then you chose to kind of be a smartass to me. So I'm asking you what that means whenever you said, well, it's not on the calendar, and sometimes the calendar, they switch the calendar around. I don't know what you're talking about. What does that mean?
Yeah, so the House calendar is shorthand to refer to what days that they are scheduled to vote in D.C. and what days they are not scheduled to vote in D.C. And so when there are votes scheduled, also known as in session, all the members are expected to be in D.C. and they schedule a lot of work that can be done in D.C. around that time, whether it's committee hearings, meeting with constituents that are in town, things like that. When we are not in session, meaning when there are not votes scheduled in D.C., the members are still doing a lot of work, but it's not voting or, it's not something that is on the House floor. They're meeting with constituents, touring factories in the district. They can still be working on legislation or working on holding the Biden administration accountable or preparing for the next week that we are in D.C. and voting on things.
Okay.
So...
All right. Well, thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. That's pretty cool. Well done. Now, here's something that I would have to ask, though, him, is that why are we walking around trying to make Democrats accountable? That's a waste of time. Okay, trying is a word that is horrible. It's way past time that we've needed to start doing, and I don't have to be all knowledgeable about the language of the House or the government or anything else to know that this country we're in trouble. And do you understand that when I say that we're in trouble, that I'm not just talking about me, that I'm talking about you as well?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, well, that's what I'm calling about, because I'm not just calling for me. I have several people that come to me, and I'm the one that always gets chosen to be the representative, if you will, for the group that always comes to me. And on my channel, I mean, every one of my subscribers, they really like that, I get right to the point, and that they don't have to waste like 2 hours watching 2 hours of somebody that whenever they could just say, hey, you know what, we're getting screwed here, But that's usually what happens. And you know what? Most of my subscribers and stuff, they don't have all day. So I try to make a bunch of shorts and stuff like that and keep it within the 15-second time frame when absolute possible. But you know what? There's so much garbage out here that I would honestly rather be having a channel where I watch mushrooms grow or something like that, or what's
Well, I would call that the U.S. Senate, but that's just me.
Oh, what? Look at you being a human being. Wow, that's pretty damn good. You got to tell me your name again.
My name is Greg.
Greg, I'm telling you, you're like my buddy Charles. See, Greg, you're starting to grow on me here. The answering machines that my representative Brad has there. So now I got, is it Charlie and Greg, right? I'm definitely going to try to remember you there for sure. But that's what I'm talking about. Look, aren't we done with all this bullshit? Have you ever seen, like, when you watch a group of the police, which is a whole other topic that, I mean, I can't stand the police. We don't want to get rid of the police or whatever, but they formed their own army against we the people. It's not that we don't want police. We do. We just don't like the thugs that's put in there because we all know that it's a cult, a religion of theirs or whatever with the thin blue line, because the red, white, and blue is not good enough for them. So they think. They're not worthy of that. Nobody says do away with the police. We want to do away with the way that they're being allowed to get away with doing, or the way it's being done. Like, they need to understand, just like whenever I'm calling in to any representative, we have no lines, by the way. Like, if I called another state or whatever and I talked to another representative, governor, or congressman anywhere, or even the president, these are all representatives. Something that's got to change is we got to stop calling them leaders. It's garbage. We got one leader, that's God. Jesus Christ, that's our only leader. We have representatives. I don't give a damn if it's a president on down. They are representatives, not leaders. Now, they might have leadership qualities or something like that, you know what I mean, where they're trailblazers or something like that. But to call them leaders is absolutely, it's corrupting the minds of true Americans, because that's not the way it should be. But back on the police here, if you've seen one of your children getting taken in or whatever, because let's say that they threw a rock at a window or something, let's keep it back normal in my childhood. Somebody really flared up and was goofing off and threw and broke a window or something, and the police showed up, which should be peace officers, but they would get them. And I can remember back in my time, I've seen some kids or whatever, and they'd put them right in the front seat. No cuffs, no torture cuffs, no nothing. But we've got to this time where, and I want you to hear me when I'm telling you this. Greg, hear this. We are getting so watered down now as Americans because we're being flooded by this invasion and stuff. And it was already happening. We was already kind of slipping and letting go. We was falling asleep. But we are waking up now, and we are paying attention. But you cannot keep treating this country like that, where you keep pouring in all of these invaders and making our vote less and less. Because why? Think about this. Like right now they're saying, well, let's let these invaders go ahead and vote. That's what they're trying to do. They want them to vote. They have no skin in the game. They're not invested here. They didn't have grandmas here. They didn't have grandpas here. Mom and dad's here. They've got nothing. And you can tell clear as day that they genuinely don't know what's going on, because you've seen it and I've seen it. When they ask, who do you want, Biden or Trump? Well, why do you, they'll say Biden, Biden, Biden. Why is that? And they even ask them, they say, well, what do you think about Biden? They say, oh, he's got a big heart. Do you feel like he's got a big heart? Because I got everybody that I know and I can think of that would say absolutely
Not.
That's right. So that tells you that they genuinely don't know what's going on in this country. So why even have them even come over here? Why even have these people, risk their lives coming over here? Why not just ask some other country, hey, you guys tell us who you want us to have for president here in the United States? You see what I mean? Why put their lives in danger if we're just going to have people just roll up onto our land? But we are becoming weaker and weaker, so they think. But it's actually, look what's happened with Trump. Every time they go after him, what happens to his numbers? They go through the roof. He keeps going higher and higher. And what that is that's telling you what we the people are saying. That's a clear voice. It's like, you keep messing with Trump, we're going to keep backing him. And the other people that's usually fed up and they don't like to say anything, and I've seen this. I mean, I've seen a lot of this. I mean, a staggering amount of people that wouldn't say shit if they had a mouthful. These people are now saying shit. What's going on? You know, this has got to change, and it will change. These are people that normally would not raise their hand, you know, if it was the last ride, you know, away from the Titanic. These people would go down with a sinking ship or whatever, but even these people now are saying, hey, nope, this can't keep happening. We've got a problem. You know we've got a problem, Greg. So that's what this call is. So if you could take one thing to him for me, is to tell him he's fired. Unless he does something dramatically different, because we're not protected. It's not a feeling. We're not protected. We're not safe. And I don't want to go to bed at night because I lay there with my eyes open. And then I find whenever I get up, I'm not rested. And I'm wondering what the hell's coming and how it's coming. And everybody that I can think of, Noam, you feel that way or no?
Yeah.
Anywhere close to that?
Yes.
So, I mean, he's got to change. It can't be a bipartisan thing. This is not a bipartisan thing. If somebody's still saying they're Democrat, they are so blind dumb that we really don't want them here anyway. Democrat is not the same as what Democrats was whenever I was a younger guy. Because it used to be the Democrats genuinely was for, you know, poorer people and stuff. They never wanted all this evilness, you know, cut this off or cut that off, or you can be a Twinkie if you want to be a Twinkie, and how many genders are there? And why does you know why they call it the alphabet gang? Is because they got A and B and C, or what is it? What is it? The LGBTQ. Well, why not just start with A, B, C, D and say the whole alphabet? Oh, but then at the end of it, you'd have to say plus, because somebody wouldn't want to be a letter. They would want to be a number. And then when you get done with all the numbers, and think about how many numbers there are, because numbers keep right on going. Infinity. But then if you use the word infinity, they wouldn't like that neither. See, it just goes on and on and on. You got to have borders. You got to have boundaries. So that's why I'm saying our border is non-existent. It's not there. And for somebody just like my orifice and all that stuff, you know, oh, my orifice, can you believe that they're still in there? And that's what the people are so frustrated is, because it seems like all that gets done is a bunch of talking and nobody's actually doing any smacking, you know? Once you talk to an idiot, you have to smack them in their damn mouth just to make sure. It's like, you're an idiot, don't piss on the floor anymore, and then you smack them. And then, if they got any sense in there whatsoever, they won't piss on the floor no more. And actually right now, there's a big pile of shit, and it's right in the middle of our floor, of our country. And it's spreading. This manure, this shit show, is absolutely spread out all over our country right now. Sanctuary cities. So what they're saying is, it's kind of like you remember the game of tag, freeze tag or something like that back whenever I don't know if you played it, Greg, or not, but freeze tag, you would always have like the barrel, you know, with the broken glass around it or something like that. When you started playing freeze tag, if you got to that barrel, you know, you was safe. Well, they have these places, and it's insane. So they're an invader, but if you go to these like New York safe places or whatever, oh, you made it. We can't touch you. It's garbage. And we want them gone. We want them gone.
Those cities are starting to learn the consequences of their decisions in that regard.
Well, yeah, but how are they learning it? And I know what you're going to say, Greg, and not really but let me point out that why does it cost me for them to learn that? Because when I say that, why does it cost me? You know what I'm talking about. You and Noam, Amy, and the rest. I mean, all of my subscribers, all of them, all of us understand that why do we have to learn a lesson that we shouldn't even have had, right?
I understand. I don't disagree.
There you go. So he's got to change his tactics. You know, I'm calling because I want Brad to actually do something. And see, why is he bailing at the end of the year? He's an intelligent guy. I mean, he really is, and he's had a wonderful career. But you know, when we really need stuff done, you know, don't bail. Stay in there and get in the fight. But here's what we're saying: there's a lot of this year left. You know what I mean? And I understand, you know, after a while somebody wants to go and enjoy their life, you know, on retirement and stuff like that. But think about what I just said. How many people, how many Americans, and I'm talking about real Americans, not the invaders, how many of real Americans are going to get to do what he's wanting to do at the end of this year? You see what I mean?
No, I hear you, and he's going to be running through the tape up until December 31st. I can guarantee you that.
Okay, and I know what you mean, but explain that.
Just that he is not slowing down at all, even though he's not running for re-election.
Yeah, well, we want him to work on issues that is vitally important to us. Like, he might think he's going the right direction, but obviously he's not, because if he was going in the right direction, we wouldn't be in this mess. All of them. We shouldn't even have had to deal with COVID. It shouldn't have never been here. And when they take their oaths and stuff, that's why I fired all of them in the government, the beast, is because when they took those offices, and see, Brad was already in there. You know, they take oaths to protect we the people and the Constitution. But did that happen? Nope. And also the whole COVID thing, and you know what? I read that where he's working on that bipartisan bullshit, whatever, with somebody about making sure COVID don't happen again. Whoop-de-damn-doop-de. Let me tell you this. They are on to me for $30,000. Let me say that again. 30 grand is what they are saying that they want from me because the government, who keeps giving this money to, where are we in
Ukraine?
the war? Yeah, Ukraine. Thank you very much. No, we're sending billions of dollars to Ukraine over there. All a money thing. Burisma. Does anybody know that he still owns Burisma? Did you know that? Did you know Hunter still owns Burisma? Did you know that?
I did not know.
Okay, well, what's the other star thing? I just passed a van yesterday. Yesterday, I passed, what was the name of that van? It was something Star.
True Star.
True Star. And then there's another
Blue
one.
Star.
Blue Star and True Star.
Yeah.
Which is owned by Hunter Biden. Still yet. Look it up. You know how I found it out? I seen the van. I'm like, damn. I wonder if that's any connection to Burisma. And I said, hey, no. I was driving at the time. I said, look that up and see.
Yeah, True Star Energy.
I said, look that up and see if that's got any connection with Burisma or not. And she did. She said, yeah. I said, and who owns it? And she said, hold on. She looked it up. Guess what? It said Hunter Biden. I said, really? Yep. And guess what else Noam said? She said also it was North Star or whatever it is. Insane. But see, nobody's telling you that. And I mean, that's one of the things that I want the people to know out there is that they're showing Hunter as being this artist guy or whatever. I gotta be completely honest with you. I don't think he's doing the artwork, and here's why I think that is. I actually like some of the artwork that I seen. You know, I wished I didn't say that. You know. But honestly, he's got to have somebody else doing that because he probably could have made it as an artist. I mean, if I'm honest about it. Now, everybody will look at it because of the obvious and say, well, anyway, I don't want to get off on something like that. But, yeah. Did you know that he still owns all these natural gas places?
I did not know. I know the Oversight Committee is continuing to do interviews, and they're going to have, I think, him and Joe Biden's brother in later this month or next month to depose or to interview.
Wait, Brad is?
Following it closely.
Brad is?
The oversight committee. So Brad is not on the oversight committee, but it kind of, similar to use the analogy you were using. Mechanics might specialize in a certain type of auto repair or a certain type of brand or car. That's kind of what in the House, as they get on the committees, they specialize in different parts of oversight or legislating, and then work together as it comes to the House floor. So instead of having 200 people working on the same thing, the Republican members try and specialize among themselves. So it's Jamie Comer is the chairman of that committee.
Huh. Interesting. Okay. Well, we really want Brad to go and help Trump by crushing these. I'm not going to call this idiot a judge. He's not. I mean, that's what they allowed this dipshit to do this. No jury. I want you to ask yourself this. If you had done something and you're taken in, whether you did it or not, irrelevant, but you're taken in and then you're expecting to go through our court system, aren't you really wanting a jury? I mean,
yeah, I am as confused as you are on what the New York state judicial system is doing. I wish I had an answer for you.
Well, on that, we don't really need an answer. What you want done, and the same as with everybody that I'm speaking with, and I'm sure the subscribers too, is go and prosecute this white-haired Q-tip looking Democratic piece of garbage that's doing that. Because talk about a waste of our money and our time and stuff. Look, there's people that are truly homeless that's working. And I'm sure you've seen the video of the homeless guy who's working a 40-hour job, and he went back to the same place that he'd been going to for I don't know how long, and he just wanted a room, and they wouldn't even let him in. And they said, why? They said, well, because we've got all these invaders in here that just showed up, and they bust them up there, and here you go. And now the American that does have skin in the game, that working and everything else. I don't remember if he was a veteran or not. But anyway, whether he is or whether he's not, he's still an American, and he should have had a place to lay his head. But this is absolutely insanity. So it's got to stop. Brad's got to change his strategy here. He's got to change his strategy, because if he's working on kids going to college, that need a place or something like that, well, you got to have money in order to even survive. And if you're not surviving, you're not thinking about going to college. Look, our our young people, especially if they're brilliant enough to want to go to college, they'll figure it out. You know what I mean? I know people that slept in their cars. I know people that got vans or whatever. They turn that into whatever. So I just think that, and no, I don't think. I know. What do you think? No? Don't you think there's way better things that he could be spending his time on rather than, and this bipartisan thing, we don't want him bipartisan no more. We don't want bipartisan, because whenever you're saying bipartisan, what you're truly saying is, well, we're trying to please everybody that we need to please. And you can't do that, because Democrats, there is no pleasing them. And if you can tell me one Democrat that is worth listening to, then by golly, I'm telling you, I'll shine your shoes for you, because it doesn't happen. They don't want to get along. They do not want to participate. They hate our flag. They're burning one of the most precious things that we have, which is Old Glory, the red, white, and blue. And again, I say this all the time, but I mean it. I'm sitting here wearing a Trump hat. This says 2024 on it, and it says Save America. Mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. Mike Lindell, #1 patriot of all times in my lifetime, for sure. MyPillow.com. Go buy something off of him. Honest, true blue, red, white, and blue patriot. Use promo code, whatever you want to use, because I don't have one. He's a heck of a guy. And you know what he said? He said this is the greatest time in history because now we have an opportunity to truly change it. When I was younger, there was people that would say, well, you know, all those elections are rigged anyway. So it doesn't matter who you vote for it. They're going to put in whoever they want to put in. That is a conversation growing up that I remembered all the time. All the time. Proof of this is that they put Jimmy Carter in there, you know? So.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the call, sir. I apologize.
Nope. Now, Greg, don't do this to me. Now, listen, I was getting ready to let you go, but you can't end the call on me, but I will let you go here in a minute. So I wanted to tell you that I do appreciate the conversation with you, and I want you to get that to him, and can I expect an answer back to what message that I'm sending to Brad?
Yep, we will get you an answer back. Do you prefer mail or email?
Both. Oh, I like both.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. We will work to get that back to you.
Okay. Now, if you will, for me, I need for you to do this. I need for you to try to educate people a little bit better. Like if somebody asks you a question or something, Greg, don't get like butt hurt or anything by it. Because you got to remember, these guys, their arrows aren't pointed directly at you as a human being. But when I'm calling in, I'm wanting to talk to Brad, who works for me. You see what I mean? So
I understand. Can I make one request to you?
Yeah, sure.
Can you, when you call in, just make sure you're treating everybody like a human being on the phone, like they're a son or daughter of yours, and how you would want them to be treated at their work?
No, I can't do that. And here's why. See, whenever you signed up to take that phone call, I don't have time to pet you like I'm doing because, see, you actually stood up and you said something intelligent. So right now, what you're doing is you're saying it's okay for all of us to treat you, James Preston, as a piece of garbage and making your vote less than, and it was okay for us not to protect you and to give you COVID, which was man-made, and then to hide all this shit from you and to charge you $30,000 and when we don't pay it, that we said we would because the COVID relief fund, which was ending in whatever it was, but it was March 27th, and I am documented as being in there on January. No, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that. So if you get in the way of somebody who is actually calling in and they have something to say to their representative, I would lay the hell down and I would show them the respect. You see what I'm saying? So I was giving you Greg, hold on a minute. I was giving you respect because I thought, man, he's intelligent, and you know he's saying, hey, I'm a human being too, and I respect that. I get that. But when I called in, and I mean I've got it all down or whatever I can point out to you that I didn't talk to you in no kind of manner. I was talking direct to Brad Winstrip, and but you know what? Have him to call me. You know what? Get him. You can't. He ain't got enough hair on his ass to call me. You know what? They've threatened me before. They said, you know what? How about if we have Brad call you? Would you like that? And I said, hell yeah. That'd be awesome. But he doesn't call me. So since he won't call me or whatever, you guys have to remember when people calls in, look, 30 grand, brother. They damaged me. I have heart damage now. And you want me to pet you? I treated you with respect.
I appreciate it.
All right, you're welcome. All right, hey, listen, Greg, I'm telling you, this is the God's honest truth, and I mean this. You and Charles are my favorite answer machines. You guys are true Americans, I can tell. But don't get this twisted. I did not call to attack you. I didn't call to attack Brad. I called to attack anybody and everybody who failed we the people, and we have been failed. And so now, guess who it's up to? It's up to the adults to fix this. So I'm fixing it, okay? But I
appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you too. Hey, God bless you.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, see, here's the problem. They're so worried about telling us petty shit that they can't concentrate on the big picture right now. Do you think that I'm going to be all polite and everything, like if I have to go deal with these invaders? You know what I mean? I am dealing with them. You know? I'm dealing with them the right way. The peaceful way. The right way, which is call your representatives. You know, go, you know, that's why we have laws and stuff like that. Do it the right way. But remember, if they don't, we always have our constitutional God-given right. You know, Second Amendment, First Amendment, whatever it takes, you know. All right, anyway, again, if you guys hung in here for this whole conversation, man, do I appreciate you so much, man. I appreciate every subscriber on this channel. I pray for you guys every day. Do I not know?
Yes, you do.
So, and I truly mean it. I mean, I know everybody's suffering. I know everybody's got their, you know, different ways that they deal with things. And, you know, so many people don't have the time. And I'll be honest with you, I've got other things I should have already been doing today. But what I do, you know, what I always do, I try to make time, not try to, I make the time to do these kind of things right here. It's not easy. Because when you call in, you're just wanting to tell somebody, yes, I'd like a cake. You got a list with, like, you call in, you're ready, you got your cake all lined up or whatever you're going to order. And you're like, okay, I'm just going to order this. It'll take 2 minutes and I'll be out the door and I'll be right with you. Okay, hold on. And then they pick up the phone. Yeah, cake store, please hold. And you're like, oh, okay, well, okay. It'll be a second. And then there you go. And then when they finally come back on, what can I do for you? You know, it's crap. And we're dealing with too much crap. Let me tell you what's going to happen. When people get married, they're going to have to take those vows extremely seriously. Because it's a contract with our Lord and Savior, our leader. Okay. When you take those vows and you enter in that contract with the Lord, you want to make sure that you mean it, because it is a contract with the Lord to each other. And why is it so important? Well, it's with the Lord first and foremost. But if you go on and you have children and they see that it's just something that you can just throw away because you didn't like something or something didn't go right or whatever, what are they going to do? Well, you know what? You don't have to wait to find out. If you look around, you can already see what's going on. You can already see. You know, they don't know which way to go. They don't know, you know, if they want to, you know, go to college or not. You know, they don't know how to work on cars. They don't know how to tie the bow in their hair or whatever. They don't have any true guidance there. And I believe that we all need 3 different inputs. And that's coming from heaven and your dad and your mom. Or your mom and your dad. Well, actually, God, man, and woman, in that order. And none of them is less than. There's only one that's more important than. And, of course, that's God. But, anyway, yeah, we got to show each other a lot more kindness and stuff. So, and it's always a struggle. But I am genuinely concerned about this country. And I'm trying to do what I can. And there's so much to learn and stuff, you know, whenever you're talking about the House and the Senate and all these different places and what the governor does and what the representatives does and all this stuff. And I hate for them to say that there's boundaries. There's no boundaries right now. If you're in this world, all hands on deck. Listen, God bless America. God bless you and yours. We're praying for you. Thank you so much for praying for me and mine. I so appreciate that. Truly love each and every one of you. Love you, Lord. Love you, boss. Call your representative. What's the number?
202-224-3121.
Peace out.